we are entering a new format of sealed only this week. Not only is Destined Rivals now legal for competitive play, but the season has ended, so we're sort of in limbo. While that sounds like a negative, it actually gives us a great time frame to get our list in order. Last episode we managed to barely miss out on top 8, losing our winning in, but we picked up a ton of trades and massively overhauled the deck. If this is your first time here, we are 4 episodes in to trying to build a deck from only sealed products and any trade using the cards we pull from it. This week we have 2 big things that are going to update the list. Firstly, we have some more trades. This does mean that we've mostly traded away pretty much all the good stuff that we pulled, but considering what we've got in return, I have no regrets. This time we traded away our Swinub Art Rare and Blaziken EX for some essentials and some bling. We got up with our friend Sam after he lost his top 8 match and picked through his trade binder, finding a ton of stuff. We picked up this second Munkidori, which I think is going to be the optimal number for the list we are using right now, so I'm quite happy to add that to the list. A third Arven, who will hopefully be joined by a 4th as soon as I can get my hands on one. A second Super Rod, which I'm not sure if we'll use 2 in the list, but this one's shiny, so it's an upgrade. We have TM Devolution. This is one that actually I didn't really have on my radar, but playing against God of War and against Dragapult last episode, I felt like there was lots of games where we had damage spread, and if I could have devoed, I could have taken some important KOs. So I'm going to be trying this out in the list for sure this week. And then we've also got 2 Hops Choice Band, which I know I said I was going to try and pull them organically, but we were going through Sam's binder and he had them, so they were there. I just had to. And lastly, we did get our hands on something that isn't necessarily needed for the list, but again, I saw it and I wanted it. We have got 4, if the camera will show it, 4 very shiny metal energies from the Play promo packs, as well as 4 shiny dark energy. Look, I know our list isn't perfect, and here I am blinging it out with shiny energy, but we were doing a trade and I'm basically a crow. I saw the shiny stuff and I couldn't not go for it. But that's not the only thing we're doing this week, and it wouldn't be sealed only without opening some sealed products. And for me, this week, there was 1 card missing from our deck last week that would have scored us a couple more wins, or would have made the wins that we did get even smoother. And without a doubt, that card is Blood Moon Ursaluna EX. Which is a mouthful, now I say it out loud. Thankfully, it does come in this handy little promo box, even if the artwork is just downright derpy. I mean, we've got the big one we can look at here. Look at this guy. Look at him. This is an incredibly threatening standard card, and look at that face. No one's scared of that. Between Ursaluna and the trades that we've got, I do think that our deck is going to be quite well upgraded as is, but there are some more packs in here, so let's get into them and see if we can't add anything else this week. And yeah, honestly, I'm quite happy with the list. I'm not saying this is it, this is the final thing we're going to open, but I'm going to locals with this list and feeling like I can make a dent, which hasn't been the case for maybe the first 3 episodes, but I'm feeling way more confident now that we're running these cards. Let's see what else we're adding and bump that enthusiasm higher. Obviously, as I said, this is the reason we bought the box. Blood Moon Ursaluna lost us a key game last week, in the sense that our opponent was playing it in Dragapult, and despite a dominating start, slapped this down and just walked all over us from that point. So not only do I know what it can do for our list, I know what it can do against our list. So this is an exciting addition. There are more promos in this box. We do also get, well, they're not actually promos, are they? They're just special holo. I'm not even sure if they're special, but we aren't exactly going to be using this. So I'm going to put this in the trade binder. Maybe there's someone out there looking for a shiny Noctowl and Hoo-Hoo. Our pack selection in this box is 2 Surging Sparks, 1 Stellar Crown, and 1 Paradox Rift. Surging Sparks has Archulidon. I would absolutely love that. Stellar Crown, I'm not incredibly sure there's anything left in there we want. We got a ton of Crispins, so I'm feeling pretty happy with that. But let's crack on in and see what we get. Beautiful Iono Horsey here. One of my favourite artists. And if we're looking at the art, this Joltik is gorgeous. I'm going to pick up the base a little bit, as much as I want to sit here and admire the artwork. We can do that later. Hyper Blower Iron Bundle. Oh man, I didn't know that was in this set. I actually wasn't sure what set this was in. This is fantastic. For anyone that doesn't know what this does, it's basically a one-sided escape rope. I can discard this Pokemon and make my opponent switch, which is fantastic under item lock. Is great just for messing around people. This is actually likely going to go on the list. I'm going to add this up here. What a great little pull from a set I wasn't expecting to see anything in. Gliscor, Energy Booster, it's just, yeah, sure. Dottler, Simisage, Chimpao. That's alright. Iron Bundle. Oh man, that's... Sorry, I just didn't think there was anything in that set to care about. That caught me off guard. The Stellar Crown up next. I didn't dare hope that we might get anything else from these packs. It just feels... Yeah, it's just... I've already got a lot to add this week, but the Iron Bundle is a lovely surprise. A 4th Crispin. I've got a play set of Crispins. I do not think I'll need anywhere near that many considering what we're doing, but that's just cool to have. Oh, that was the... Didn't even notice that was shiny. Sorry, Dreadnought. Nothing there from... Which one was that? That was the Stellar Crown. Of course it was. We just got more Crispins. Surging Sparks, Archulidon. I would love an Archulidon. We've already got 1 Duraludon. So if I can get ourselves an Archulidon... That will be cooking. We'll be cooking. Another Hygonosuke artwork. Love that. Beautiful Feebas as well. What do you do actually for this Pokemon? Nah, nothing fancy. I just realised I didn't know I got a 2nd counter game. I like that. What? Ooh, Gold Jet Energy. Part of me wants to put this in my deck, but also it's really good trade bait. I love this. I haven't bought a gold card in so long. Yeah, okay, Togekiss. Togekiss isn't terrible either, actually. Gold Jet Energy, though. Oh. That's a beauty. That is a beauty. So glad I bought this box. It's greedy to ask for an Archulidon still, but I would really like an Archulidon. Otherwise, I might be tempted to pick up a few packs of this set just to really fill out the numbers. Skeledirge, Blackheart. That's trade bait. That's trade bait. Not going to be using that, but there are, especially with black and white coming out, the sets, there's got to be some people out there looking for a cool... Kyra's black and white. Where's X and Y? Let me know in the comments. Black and white, X and Y. One of those 2 sets. That's insanely good. Oh, where's Moy? Where is he? Iron Bundle. I went in with such low expectations on this. Honestly, it's crazy. I almost forgot that's not even our whole budget. We do have 3 packs of Journey Together to round out this week. I'm honestly just looking for trade bait. Some more post-wicks. Maybe a 3rd Zacian would be nice. But honestly, I had money left over and I had packs of Journey Together left over. So that's the reason we're going for this. Nothing more thought out than that, to be honest with you. But considering we've pulled some juicy bits already this week, including some stuff for the trade binder, let's just hope to get some more cool stuff from Journey Together. You know, I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't just wanting to open more of Journey Together. I haven't got any Destined Rivals yet, but I just really love the Trainers Pokemon. I will get into Destined Rival at some point, probably for this series. Tyranitar's pretty cool with the item lock. That's pretty cool. Beautiful Scrovit there. Like I said, I probably will get some Destin rivals for this series because there are a few cool items in there. Sandra on a trade back a choice band. I don't think we need to open this. Oh man. Oh, reverse hollow Woodoo. Yeah, I'm glad we opened this. I've lost my train of thought entirely. What on earth was I saying? The Team Rocket set as a kid and the Gym Leader sets were favourites of mine, as they were for lots of people. So these have been great callbacks. Corviknight. Maybe we'll run you back one of these days. Oh, really glad I don't have a face cam for a ridiculous face I just pulled. Hops Wooloo. You know what? Our friend Jason, who traded with us in episode 3, was incredibly kind and actually gave me a Hops Wooloo. So this is my second copy, and I still couldn't be happier with pulling one myself. I've also got one in Japanese from when I was actually in Japan. This card means a lot. It means a lot, and a lichen rock. But I've had such fun opening packs this episode. I think last episodes I've been so focused on pulling what we needed and focused on what we needed. I haven't had as much fun with it, but then what is about this week? Maybe the fact that the pulls have been amazing helps, but that was a lot of fun. What have we got? We have got Blood Moon Ursaluna. We have got a 4th Postwick if we want it. An Iron Bundle. We've got... Where's my trades gone? I've lost my trades. They're underneath the packs. Hops Bands, Devo, Arven, Monkey. We've got some cards to add this week. I think I know what I want to do with the list. This surprises me a little bit. This caught me off a bit. Otherwise, I think I know what I want to do with the list. Let's get over to the deck tech, see if I can't keep this enthusiasm going as we look over what list we're going to take to locals this week. What locals am I going to? I'm actually not sure. There's a few options that I want to try out, but work's pretty busy at the moment, so I'll see which one I can squeeze in, see how it goes. Let's check out the deck. I won't go through card by card this week. I instead want to focus on our changes and how the deck is shaping up. We've had another big turnover of cards this episode, with a mammoth 11 cards making the change. Obviously, Blood Moon Ursaluna and Munkidori have been added this week. I've opted not to add in Iron Bundle to the current list, as we're already so heavy on Pokemon that I'm just not sure it fits in with the approach that we're going for, but it is one to keep an eye on going forward if we change up the list. I'm also adding in 2 Hops Choice Band and the 4th Postwick. Decided to cut Artisan entirely in its place, as I just don't think we need it where we stand, and it means that our Hops package is rocking 4 Choice Band, 4 Postwick, which I think works really well. Iono and Arven have both had their numbers increased to 4 and 3 copies respectively. There are key supporters in the deck, so I'm happy to increase them. And I have additionally made a new addition twice there, of putting TM Devo in the list to really help with those stage 2 big HP matchups. Our last change is that with 2 Munkidori finally, I am moving to 4 copies of Dark Energy and have cut Metal entirely. I know that this means that we can't use our second Zacian attack, but realistically, how often are we doing that anyway? And this way I get to ensure that Monkey is online as fast and as consistently as possible. So I think we're going to be happy with this change. To make room, we've made the following cuts to our previous list. The 5 Metal Energy are all entirely gone in favour of exclusively Dark now. The aforementioned Artisan is no longer needed. We've got quite good ball search. Speaking of which, we are cutting down Buddy Body PAF into 1 copy. Not sure how useful it was at 2, but I do still kind of like the idea of it, as long as we're running Duskulls. In terms of our supporter lineup, we're cutting Brox, Colress, and Lana as we tighten up our supporter list. The search we have, Brox is going for the same reason that we don't need Artisan and we don't need 2 Body Poffins. Searching out our stadiums, it also isn't as required because we're running 4 of the key one that we need, and recursion doesn't seem as necessary in this list the way that we're moving at the moment. I don't need to pull back the Dusknoirs as often as I thought I might need to. Overall, we're getting to quite a lean 60 for this build of the deck. I think we can work on our Pokemon a little bit more, but we may pivot into a slightly different build of Hops Zacian overall. However, we'll see how this week's games go, and make some decisions after that. Locals this week didn't quite give me the usual level of competition we've come to expect. However, that in itself is to be expected. We were in the off-season and people are looking to experiment. That being said, the room was half full of Marnie's Grimmsnarl, and we frustratingly dodged all of them. It would have been great to test that matchup. We did play 3 rounds, Toedscruel EX, Poison Archulodon, and an Orthworm Metal Box of all things. However, I'm not going to deep dive into those games too much this week. No shade to our opponents, how we even lost round 1 to Toedscruel after they even spilt Sprite all over their board game 1. That was a key lesson to never leave open drinks on the table, even when you're at casuals. The games were fun, but instead I want to spend today looking ahead at the future. We're kind of at the optimal, in quotes, Dusknoir list, and by that I mean we've reached the ceiling of what the deck can really do, especially in this meta. I'm not writing the list off, but I think it's time that we dive in a different direction and see what we can really do with Zacian. I've been looking at online events, Japanese leagues, and just testing on live, and I think that we have 3 to 4 routes to experiment with. Those avenues are Poison Zacian, Future Zacian, Froslass Zacian, and just straight Zacian. Of all the 4, the one I've played the most and already have started to move towards picking up pieces for is the Poison package. I really like the idea of this route as there is obvious damage amplification, single prize options, and donkability, which is a real word, I promise. And honestly, it's just fun to play. That being said, it's the option with the least results online. That is probably in part due to the fact that Arch just pairs better with Poison. However, I do think that this has room for experimentation, and I like that. I haven't actually included Arch Zacian as it's semi-difficult to get the cards of Archulodon, and it's fallen off quite hard in the current meta, but I will keep an eye out. Secondly is Future Zacian, which we've spoken about before. However, this may be my least favourite approach, but does have a few positive results to back it up. I tried it out a little last format, and while I'm normally a fan of stuff like Urshifu VMAX to swapping in and out, this doesn't quite feel the same, but maybe I just need to give it some more time. Next up, I haven't played this yet, but I saw a Japanese list and I knew I had to try it. That's Froslass Zacian. I love the idea of supplementing the bench snipe of Zacian with the ticks of Froslass, and it seems crazy that I just haven't thought of it sooner. The most popular list in Japan by far, however, is straight Zacian. Cut out all the fluff and focus directly on the core of the hops list going as fast as possible. Personally, to me, it leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to damage. However, things like Rocket's Bomb and TM Devo can assist in that area. Genuinely, if you have thoughts on any of those lists, please let me know in the comments. I think next week we've got some Shrouded Fables to try and get a Fez or some Night Stretchers, just things that can really fit in any of the lists. However, I am open to suggestions going forward. Speaking of packs, actually, before we forget, I did get some from locals this week. A couple of goodies for us to open. We've got our promos this week. I went for the Dracloak and the Colress. We have Destined Rivals and a prize pack. Gonna crack into the prize pack first. Got ourselves Professor Turo, Enhanced Hammer, Noctowl, Rescue Board, and Crisis Punch. Swing and a miss there, but then we're going to crack into Destined Rivals. Kind of fun to see what we got here in this pack that might be usable. Even Pichu. Arcanine. Come on, camera. Judge is cool. Meditite. Venture Bomb. Ooh. Regirock EX. Nothing incredibly exciting. I think the Judge might be the best thing. One bomb does help with our plans, and I will try and pick up some more destined rivals for the upcoming weeks, but do let me know which Zacian route you guys like the look of, and I'll make sure to put in some time with all 4 options.